one of the first things that you do to get ready to write quickly is you create your scene list, your beat sheet, whatever you want to call it. This is from Mary. Mary is the second in my Ballads of the Hearth series, and it's a hot mess, but that's okay because it's not supposed to be pretty. The song, okay, this Ballads of the Hearth, they all are inspired by songs that my father used to sing. And this song is about a little girl. It opens with her in her mother's sitting room, and she's looking at all the things. And her dad comes in to tell her that he's getting married. But she knows, and she's overheard the servants talking. And so she's like, they tell me that you're getting married tonight. Notice that he's coming in the night of to tell her. So this kind of gives you an idea of just where he is with this marriage thing. But so she talks about her mother, and is this other woman going to love her? And please don't make me meet her in mama's room because it's really sad. They're talking, and the dad is getting sadder by the minute. So the child, they go to her room. She prays for them that they will have a good marriage, that all will be well. And then, guess what? She dies. Yeah, because that's how all dad songs were. So it ends on a really sad note. And I didn't want that for the book. I wanted the book to be more upbeat. A bittersweet I can handle, but that's just depressing, particularly because she's a child. So I decided I didn't want it to do that. So instead, I decided to open the book with this scene instead of closing it. I'm going to open the book with the scene, and the reader is going to get it from the father's perspective. So they're going to sympathize with the father, but they're not going to feel the child's loss as much as they're going to feel for the father. And then we can tell the father's story. So I've created my scene list. See all these? And how I do that is I start with, if you'll notice, I've numbered these papers. It's really messy, sorry. And I'm going totally on memory. I didn't review my notes. I'm just going on memory from ages ago. And so you want your hook on line 1. You want that hook, preferably the first line of your story. Definitely great is the first paragraph, but if at all possible, and in my opinion, if you can't get it on the first page, then you need to rethink your hook. Obviously, there can be exceptions, but for me, I consider first page essential, first paragraph best, first sentence or so optimal. I mean, if you can get it there, it's great. Okay, so I have, and then at the 10% mark, because I've got 60 lines here, the 10% mark, number 6, I've got the inciting event. And this is going to be really hard to get to because I've got a lot happening. Basically, the inciting event is when he goes and he says, guess what? I can't marry you. My kid just died. Because, no matter how you put it, that's what he's saying. So definitely, that's going to be hard to do all that. So I've come up with some solutions for how to do that. I don't know if I actually will. I may have mine too soon, and I'm okay with that because I totally agree. While as much as I love K.M. Weiland's stuff, and I highly recommend it, I also agree with Stephen James, who wrote the book Story Trumps Structure. And in this one, that inciting event, they have to change. And so that's good. The midpoint, I think it was James Scott Bell who says at the midpoint, something dies. It can be a relationship. It can be a job. It can be a dream. It can be an expectation. It can be just about anything, but something dies, okay? And in this one, it's not a person, obviously, because guess what? That already happened. But yes, I'm feeling rather morbid tonight. Here we have on this one that Charles decides he's not going to do this. He doesn't want her. This isn't good. And it's because that up here, in 25, he learns that she tricked him into getting to know her. And then in 30, he discovers she doesn't actually have a sincere faith. That's enough for him. Gives him an excuse. And then, of course, Grandma is going to tell him, no, you need to do this, and he really respects Grandma, so he's going to listen. Over here at 45, we have a pinch point. Her faith does become sincere. Guess what? Now you really got to marry her. At 54, the 90% mark, we have the climax where he realizes, yes, I love her. Life is grand. We have the denouement, and I'm going to be depressing and put the happily ever after at the grave because, hey, we lived it. So we have hook right away at the very beginning. Remember, seriously, try to get it First page is essential. First paragraph is preferable. First line is optimal. And then you have the inciting event at approximately 10%. Mine may not work that way. At about 50%, you have your midpoint. Shocker. And so obviously you want that. There will be other pinch points in here. I haven't done them because I can't remember what I had. And then at about the 90% mark, you have the climax. And then after that is the denouement. So there we go. Let's go put this into Scrivener and see how it works. Okay, here we are in Scrivener. What I have done is I have set up my Mary. It's the name of the book, Ballads, Scrivener. Okay, this is my Scrivener project for it. Up here you'll notice this is my hook from that list, and I've written notes. This is what's going on. I don't put notes on every one because some of them are a lot more self-explanatory. If I was going to go do another one right here, I would say Charles leaves on a trip. Okay, so we know that that would be Charles, so I'm going to go over here, label it Charles, and of course this would actually need to go down here somewhere. I'm going to put it in there. See, now we're good. So what I have already done is created a bunch of things. If you want to look here, you can see what they all look like on the corkboard view, to an idea of what's going on. But here it's just these are ready to write now. So once I get done, like this is obviously going to be in chapter 1, right? So once I've written this, or when I'm getting ready to write it, depending on what I feel like that day, I can just come down here, put it in chapter 1, and boom, it's ready to go. And of course this would need to disappear because I'm not going to do it that way. And so, you know, that's how I do it. I put these in here. So when I get ready to write, all I have to do is come in here and go, okay, this is next. This is what I have to write. So here we go. Woot. So this is all I do. I create this scene list. Here are the scenes that I have to write. And if you have this ready to go, when you sit down to do your work, when you sit down to write, especially during Nano, when you're on a time schedule and you just want to go boom, bam, baby, it's ready. See, I know what to write in each scene. I'm like, I am set. This is ready to go. And like, I have notes on what is what's coming next and all those things. Well, I have notes for that. So I am ready. I am prepared to, I'll paste them in down here. I always hit a bunch of enter and then I paste it in here. So I've got all these notes from my audio transcription. I record my ideas while I'm driving. I have it transcribed, or I transcribe it myself, one of the two, and then I plug it in, and it's boom, it's done. It's great. I love it. As I do my notes, let's give us a whole bunch more. So I've got all my notes. They're usually in paragraphs, but so I've got all these notes. Well, as I do each one, I just delete it. And then I write some more and I delete it. And I delete it, just as I go. And when it's all done, this is gone. That's ready to write. Everything is great, right? You can do all of this in Word. You use the heading 2 here, and you can use the heading 1, but I use heading 2. And that way, if you decide, oh, I want the daughter to pray for him before she's getting ready, so that's really going to be the hook. And this has to go up there. But you're moving stuff around. It's no big deal. No big deal. So then I can write the story. La dee da dee da yada yada. Black. Okay. So I've written that story. Well, then that scene. Well, then all I have to do is turn these into asterisks and make it normal. Now it's ready to go. Put some asterisks down here to separate, and I can just move along. You can do it exactly the same way as you do in Scrivener. It's just not quite as pretty. It's not quite as smooth, but it can be done if you want to have a word scene list similar and just work from that. Okay? there you go. This is your assignment this week. We have to get these scene lists done so that we can be ready to start writing at midnight. Who's going to write with me at midnight? Yay! On November 1st. See ya on the board. Bye.